You see, that's why we are where we are. Americans just got distracted and forgot that this government that we have is a government for the people and by the people. And if you turn your back and you don't watch it carefully, then what happens? Well, you know what? It's kind of like that little puppy dog. It started out real cute, and then you know what it did? Nobody paid attention to it. And so it ate all the food in the refrigerator, it made a mess all over the house, and it turned into an overgrown monster. And that is what the government has become.
There's a lot of talk about dogs in political conversations lately, especially with Republicans that are trying to impress Trump. But this one's bad.
One of Donald Trump's possible vice presidential picks facing some backlash. This is an excerpt from an upcoming book. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. She explained how she shot and killed her 14-month-old puppy named Cricket. In an excerpt from the book obtained by The Guardian, Noem described the puppy as untrainable, dangerous to anyone she came in contact with, and less than worthless as a hunting dog. She then went on to write, quote, "I hated that dog." Now, Noem is defending her actions as responsible. She wrote on social media, quote, "The fact is, South Dakota law states dogs who attack and kill livestock can be put down. Given that Cricket had shown aggressive behavior toward people by biting them, I decided what I did." Is she trying to, so Donald Trump, famously hates dogs. He he'll use the phrase, so-and-so should be shot like a dog. Is she trying to, appeal directly to him with this aggressive language?
I don't think so.
Noem tried, and she failed to be some kind of relatable farmer that has no issue shooting her dog in the face, if that's what needs to be done. She even told everyone the cute name she gave the dog, Cricket, so that people have an extra layer of sympathy for the puppy. She's even got conservatives talking like a bunch of libs about her killing spree.
Yes.
What? I have 4 rescues, and I have a puppy. I got to tell you, what she's done is she's sabotaged herself, whether or not it was to, buttress what was coming down the road. But she also managed to unite the right and the left, because America, if nothing else, we are dog lovers. And don't tell me you shot a pup because it wasn't used to hunting. Maybe you're not a good teacher.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a problem. And this whole thing with the chickens, were the chickens dead? Was your dog on their property? Should you have had your dog on a leash? Should your farm have been fenced? I could go on and on because I love dogs.
Remember Joe Biden's dog, Commander? It was still only surface-level political criticism when Commander was out biting Secret Service agents. So the parallel between his misbehaving dog and Kristi Noem's begs for comparisons of how each one dealt with it.
We're learning that President Biden's dog has bitten somebody else. The Secret Service says that last night an officer came into contact with Commander, that's the pup, and was bitten. Remember, it was just a couple of months ago that the conservative group Judicial Watch released a report that says Commander has had 10 what they call biting incidents in just over a year.
There have been problems here, and this is certainly difficult for the first family and also any of the personnel who have been bitten and needed treatment. Let's remember, there have been some injuries from this. And there was some kind of encounter with Commander Biden, who is about 2 years old. There was a bite. The bite was treated. The woman officer was treated here on the grounds of the White House. There is the medical unit, of course, as you know, Hallie. And this puts pressure on the first family.
The White House spokesperson, Jean-Pierre, had to take questions about it. There was conversations about bites that weren't originally reported. But the Bidens didn't feel the pressure to take Commander out back, shoot him, and then tell everyone, hoping to be hailed as badasses.
In a new development, Commander Biden, the president's 2-year-old German Shepherd, has been removed from the White House after a string of biting incidents, at least a dozen involving Secret Service personnel. Persistent questions have dogged officials.
The First Family is working through ways to make this situation better for everyone.
Last night, the First Lady's communications director said in a statement, the President and First Lady care deeply about the safety of those who work at the White House and those who protect them every day, adding, Commander is not presently on the White House campus while next steps are evaluated.
He even got some flack from some folks over removing the dog from the White House in the first place. So supporters of Biden have been all over the difference between his response and Noem's. It's got to be one of the biggest self-owns in recent political history. Doesn't she know that only Donald Trump's actions are considered untouchable by Republicans? He could famously shoot a man in the street and not lose any support, so they'd probably back him on shooting some dogs too. But not Kristi.
This story
Ashley, as a dog owner my whole life, absolutely makes my blood boil.
Yes.
On two levels. One, how utterly heartless do you have to be to shoot a 14-month-old dog in the face? Because, look, if it wasn't doing its job on the farm or was attacking chicken or people, okay. You're a public figure, or at least you have a platform in some way, shape, or form. Even if you're a private citizen, you very easily could have posted somewhere, I'm putting my dog up for adoption because maybe it's not working out here on the ranch. And I can guarantee you many people would have raised their hand to take that dog in. You just don't go ahead and murder it. And can someone explain, to your point, by the way, what editor thought it was a good idea to share this in a book? Because I'll say this, she just destroyed any chance she had at being Donald Trump's vice president, if she had any chance at all. There's no going back from this. I mean, just ask Mitt Romney. You know, the multimillionaire thought it was a really good idea to put his dog on a roof of a car for 12 hours. That story sticks with him to this day for good reason. She could try to talk her way out of this all she wants. I'm sorry. You don't shoot dogs in the face. I don't care what they've done.
Amen, Joe Concha. I'm a lifelong dog lover.
Blood is boiling. Friends of hers are abandoning her on live TV.
Why would Noem release something like this? What an error of judgment.
Because she actually did it. So I give her a A+ for being honest about it, but she just destroyed her political career. I don't think there's anybody on any side of the aisle, any human being that thinks it's acceptable to go to a gravel pit and shoot a dog in the face and kill it when it's 14 months old. That's just hideous. So she's done politically, and I'm a friend of hers. I served with her, but politically, there's no recovering from this.
No, it's really, really over for her. It didn't help that after the first couple of days of outrage and ridicule, she followed up with even more righteousness. She posted this. We love animals, but tough decisions like this happen all the time on a farm. Sadly, we just had to put down 3 horses a few weeks ago that had been in our family for 25 years. If you want more real, honest, and politically incorrect stories that'll have the media gasping, pre-order No Going Back. Oh my God, stop digging, stop digging. She even plugged her book in the middle of all this devastatingly bad news for her. Oh, y'all are mad at me? Go out and buy the book where I go into further detail about the last look on Cricket's face right before he stared down the barrel of my rifle. She's like, we also killed a couple of horses and goats that might have been in the family for decades too. Get off my back before my bloodthirst rises again. So yeah, she really thought that leaning into being politically incorrect and blaming it on the media would get her back into conservatives' good graces. It might have been the only option left, though, in a political world where friends turn into enemies when they see an opportunity. And since Carrie Lake has been reportedly not very high on Trump's VP list, she posted this completely unrelated message. Everyone wish Sushi a happy birthday. She's brought our family so much joy and tons of laughs over the years. Jeff and I are so busy on the campaign trail, sometimes I wish we could just bring our pug along. Should we? She's like, hey, Donald, I heard you might be looking for a woman as your running mate to somehow lessen the image of your absolutely authoritarian campaign without actually eliminating the authoritarian promises. Pick me. I mean, Noem had done such a well-thought-out job of being a Trump bootlicker in order to be considered. She even took down his most adoring surrogate, Mike Pence.
I think that he's failed Donald Trump since that day because he certainly does not recognize that we need someone in the White House who needs him out on the trail advocating for him instead of constantly criticizing and going back and ripping him apart. We are running, this race is about people who love America and people who are trying to destroy America. And Joe Biden is trying to destroy America. I'd encourage Mike Pence and everybody else to get out there and to help Donald Trump get elected.
But she threw it all away. And based on the MAGA standard of being as cruel as possible coming back to bite her, it's pretty ironic. And now, all she's got left is this guy.
Yes, it was politically dumb for Noem to admit this. Yes, her political calculation misfired. I'm mixing metaphors. You get the point. But the third point is, Noem didn't do anything wrong. You might say it wasn't advisable. You might say there were better things she could have done. She could have given the dog up for adoption. She could have tried to train the dog. There is nothing wrong with a human being humanely killing an animal. You know, maybe if you live in the city, you take your puppy, you take your little cat in a stroller down the sidewalk, and then you'll go and you'll take him to a doctor and you'll pay thousands of dollars to treat animal for whatever ailment. You'll pay even more money to euthanize it. That doesn't happen in the country, okay? That doesn't happen on farms. It would be one thing if Kristi Noem were torturing this dog like a serial killer or something. That would be wrong. And it would be wrong. It's wrong to mistreat animals, not because the animals have any rights. Animals don't have a rational soul. The reason it's wrong, nevertheless, to mistreat animals is because it deadens our own humanity. But there's nothing wrong intrinsically with humanely putting down a farm dog. A bullet to the head is about as humane a way as you can put down any animal.